Okay, so I'm going to change the carburetor on this. I'm going to put an aftermarket on there. One that I got off everybody's favorite online store that I'm not going to mention. So I'm going to go ahead and get this snorkel off. 7/16 or an 11. And it is quite cold out here. This carburetor on this thing don't run worth crap. And that gas valve's leaking. Get that out of the way. I'm doing this outside because this thing's got 4 flat tires. I'm not about to push it up in there. So backstory on this fine riding mower is I put this motor in here. Don't remember what the motor came off of. Don't even remember how I acquired said riding mower because I've got a whole I don't know how many bays full of equipment that it's probably given to me. I know it had a Kohler Courage single on it and it probably blew up. And yeah, it was probably given to me or I paid very, very little for it. And I put this motor on here. Stuck a motor on there, didn't do a thing with it because I got too busy. Okay. And of course the daggum top's going to have to come off and that's going to be pleasant. I don't think I can fit a ratchet back in behind here. I gotta also keep looking over my shoulder in case I have a customer pull in. Okay, so I do have to take the top off. We got one bolt out. Can't get to that one with that ratchet, so I'll have to go in and get a wrench. Got one bolt in the front that y'all can't see. And I'll probably have another customer to pull up. So, let me go get a 3/8 wrench. That socket has seen better days. I'll get to it. I'm not taking the fuel pump off because I had to put a fuel pump on this motor. So there's actually bolts and a nut in behind there holding it on. Put an aftermarket carburetor on there. I know the motor's good, I know the mower works, so why don't I just put an OEM carburetor on there? Because they're expensive. And I want to see if the aftermarket carburetors have gotten any better in terms of quality to an OEM Briggs Nikki or Ruxin carburetor. I never had good luck with Nikki carburetors. I usually replace them. But me running a shop, or I should say owning a shop, I'd rather sell a OEM carburetor to a customer than risk putting a aftermarket on there and having it come back because it doesn't run right. That's the problem with aftermarket carburetors, is they're hit and miss. That is in my opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Alright, so now I can get this cover out of my way. Really I can't without taking the fuel lines off. We're not about to do all that, so I can get this off here. It's called the snorkel. Trying to get this off. It's 5/16 or 8mm, and I didn't grab a deep socket. I grabbed a 9mm instead of an 8mm. Alright, so I got me a 8mm deep socket. Now 8 and a 5/16 will interchange, and so will an 11mm and a 7/16, vice versa. And a 9/16 you can also use a 14. And this socket is not going to work because it doesn't go all the way through. That's a snap-on socket too. See, it won't fit all the way through because if you look down inside it, it only goes down probably about 1/4 of the way. It's not fully down like my other 8mm that's missing, so now I gotta go find another 8mm. Alright, so I got me a 5/16 which will work in place of an 8mm, and this one here is deep all the way through. See, it fits on there just perfectly. Loosen that up. It is cold out here. It's like 53 degrees that the wind blowing makes it feel like it's in the 40s. And I'm doing this out here because I got a tire off the rim and the one in the back is flat as pancake, and I got another customer showing up. Alright, see if I can finish this. Got another customer show up, which is not a bad thing. When I'm in the middle of something, I don't like stopping, but gotta take care of the customers. So, it is cold out here with that wind. Probably gonna dump gas everywhere, which is totally normal. Let's take our little thing off there, spring. The way you get these carburetors off, it's just a simple twist. So now, we're gonna open up our aftermarket carburetor, and we're gonna have a little discussion here. So we open up the box, or I didn't cut the tape on the sides, but so we open up the box, and we're greeted with gas line, a gasket, and clamps, and some sort of adjustment tool. Do not use this gas line. I can't say that enough. Do not use this gas line. It will deteriorate and clog up this carburetor because this is not fuel-related gas line. This is fuel gas line. See, it's fuel and emission hose, SAE J30R7. That's what you use. You don't use this. This is lined, and you can see in there it's got the inner liner, the nylon wrapping, and the outer liner, and it's low permeation fuel line. Do not use this stuff because it will deteriorate and it'll start leaking and clog up the carburetor. The clamps you can use and the gasket you can use. Other than that, don't use that gas line. So, here's our aftermarket carburetor, and my first impressions is it looks just like this Briggs Nikki carburetor. This carburetor looks identical to the Briggs Nikki carburetor, the OEM carburetor, but will it perform like the OEM carburetor? We are going to find out. And I'm going to use the new gasket provided and use the new clamp because I didn't put any clamps on this inline shutoff. Really, oh yeah I did. Really, you don't need a shutoff with a fuel pump on it, but I usually just put them on as a precaution. So, do that. Right. And the gasket is thinner than the Briggs gasket. That shouldn't make a difference. So we're going to go ahead and take this rubber band off. Got our switch hooked up. We'll go ahead and put the studs in. And we're going to hook our linkages up. We're just going to twist that in like that. Put our spring in like that. You all probably can't see a thing I'm doing. Don't worry about the spring at the last minute. Need that choke rod. This is where it gets interesting with the choke. A lot of times people change their own carburetor and they bring it to me and says, my choke don't work. Why don't choke work? Let me zoom in here. So, choke's not going to work if you don't know where to put it. Don't put it here because your choke's got to close. So if you hook this over here and route it all kind of funny ways, it's not going to close because when you push the choke up and the hammer hits the choke rod, it's got to push the choke closed. So you're going to hook it in this far outer hole right here. Okay? And then kind of finagle it back in there like so. So now we're going to go ahead and just put those bolts in by hand. Now this is screwing into plastic, so we don't need to go crazy and use like an impact or something to tighten it. And we do have to put our throttle spring in here, otherwise it won't run. It goes in there just like that. I need to put a little bend on there. There we go. I usually like to turn these in by hand because you don't want to strip them out because then you'll be buying this intake manifold. I do apologize for the bad camera angles. It's really bright out here and I have a hard time seeing the viewfinder on the camera. Plus it's cold, and I want to get this done. So the day I'm recording this, it is December the 16th, 2022. We're calling for snow a week from today. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and plug the gas line in now, or do I wait? I'll go ahead and put the snorkel on real quick. Now, that red O-ring, you don't have to change it. Obviously, I recommend changing it, but I'm not going to change it. It looks alright. So we're going to take our nuts here. And I always put one on by hand so it stabilizes this. A lot of people have trouble getting to this back one. There's a tip. When you take your cover off, it's fairly easy. See there? Spin it right on there. We got our choke on and we got our throttle. Throttle's kind of stiff. It's probably because it's new. Now we're going to put our 11mm back on. 7/16. It'll interchange. The metric fits tighter and you have less chance of rounding off the fastener. Okay, so on these cover bolts, this is the back of the cover. You've got a long bolt and a short bolt. Your long bolt goes in the back of the cover and your short bolt goes in the front of the cover. Don't mix the bolts up and put long in the front and short in the back, because if you put the long ones in the front, the flywheel is going to hit it. If you put the short ones in the back, it's not going to tighten up all the way. So we're going to, like I said, these covers pretty much self-align themselves. I'll finish tightening that up in a minute. Yeah, I'm probably going to get some of the comments. Oh, you running it without air filter. It's not going to hurt it. I'm not in a dusty environment right now. There's not no dust in the air. For me to run it without filter for a few minutes, it ain't going to hurt it. It's for testing purposes. Choke is on. Okay, our first impressions on this inexpensive aftermarket carburetor. It runs just as good as an OEM Briggs. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you all learned something. There'll be plenty more to come, and whenever I get the opportunity to actually talk in the videos, instead of doing a voiceover or a time-lapse, I would do that. But the voiceovers and time-lapses, they're not going anywhere anytime soon because some people like them. But anyways, I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.